Snow has begun to fall in greater West Bloomfield, which means that colder temperatures are on the horizon, and the ever frustrating task of managing our vehicles for the winter is now upon us. It won't be long until snow begins to cover the roads and ice becomes a constant issue, which is why it's important to remind the community how to navigate the changing road landscape. Bryson, the Senior Communications Manager of the Oakland County Road Commission, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Craig, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, very, very important conversation to be having. We've all been seeing the snow come down in Michigan, the first snow of the season, and it's just reminding us of what is to come. So as the temperatures begin to drop, what are some key things Oakland County residents should keep in mind when driving on local roads?
Well, the first and foremost thing we always tell people is to please slow down. We'll be out doing everything we can, but we can't guarantee that there won't be some icy, slushy spots. So please slow down, drive appropriately for conditions. Every year at the beginning of the season, we see people driving too fast and putting themselves and potentially others at risk. So please slow down when the weather is inclement.
That's right. And this stuff could happen at any time of the day. But I'm curious, are there certain times of day or types of roads that tend to become more dangerous once the temperatures start to dip below freezing?
Absolutely. You know, first and foremost, the morning and evening rush hour when we have the most traffic on the road is always the most dangerous. You have the most people crowding into roads that are sometimes over capacity. Any time of the day, depending on when the weather hits, can be challenging. But when the most traffic is out is when we're most concerned, and we're trying to get the roads as clear as possible. But of course, any time of day, please just drive for conditions.
That's right. Always be wary of what is on the road. Now, I'm curious, how is the Road Commission preparing for the upcoming winter season in terms of maybe equipment or salt supplies or even staffing?
Yeah, all of those. We've now completed our fall winter maintenance training. We go to every garage, sit down with all the drivers and review all the procedures, all the practices as far as how to drive, safety techniques, truck maintenance techniques. Our mechanics have completed, although it's an ongoing process always, but they've completed the fall review of all the trucks. The trucks are ready to go. We've got all of our salt facilities full, which means we've got about 37,000 tons of salt in 6 storage facilities across the county. So we are ready.
Wow, 37,000 tons of salt. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's how much we have on hand when we have all of our salt facilities full. We use an average of about 64,000 tons per year. So, you know, that's a little bit more than half of what we'll use in an average year.
Wow. I mean, that certainly does help put things into perspective about just how much you guys prepare for this sort of stuff and just how much work goes into keeping our roads safe. And I am curious, Craig, with the winter season coming along, because you guys do great work in keeping our roads safe, but of course, I'm curious, are there maybe some new technologies or strategies that the Road Commission is going to be using this year to maybe improve efficiency and response times, especially during snow and ice events?
Well, there's a couple of things. We finally got 34 new trucks in this year, late this year, that we literally had ordered during COVID, and they finally came in. You know, the delay in getting equipment has been crazy for the last couple of years. We're finally getting those trucks out on the road. Those trucks offer some new technologies. Traditionally, salt trucks had a single salt spreader in the back that spread the salt. Some of our new trucks have dual salt spreaders on each side of the back of the truck that allows them to salt a wider area. We can do multiple lanes at once. Some of them even have salt spreaders on the side of the truck that can spread the salt out to an additional lane towards the side. Those things make us more effective. We can salt more lanes at the same time. Almost all of our trucks now have the wing plows that fold out from the right-hand side, so we can plow an additional lane or shoulder at the same time. again, making us more efficient. All of our trucks are equipped with the green lights now that make them more visible, even in a blinding snowstorm. Those green lights can be seen from further away, which is a safety issue. So lots of new technology, and being inside of those trucks is kind of like being in a fighter jet. There's so much technology in the trucks now. We have cameras on the front of the trucks that we can monitor what they're seeing, so our management people can look at any of the trucks that are out there and see what the road conditions are like. They can monitor the amount of salt that's being spread anywhere to make sure we're putting down the right amount of salt for the conditions at that moment. Lots of technology on these trucks these days.
You're absolutely right about those trucks. I was in one of those trucks last year for a story for Civic Center TV, and I can tell you firsthand, yes, a lot of technology, a lot of stuff that goes into keeping our roads safe, and it's great to hear of the continued updates in that efficiency. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Senior Communications Manager for the Oakland County Road Commission, Craig Bryson, about some important tips to keep in mind as we're starting to see the first snowfalls of the winter season and as temperatures are dropping, how to protect ourselves and keep ourselves safe on the road. Now, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, road construction is always going to be taking place, and that's something people should still be aware of as we are navigating through the winter season. How is construction managed during colder temperatures like this? What usually gets done?
Well, most of the construction that you'll see in the winter is emergency repairs, things like water main breaks, sewer breaks. Most of the main road construction will wrap up typically by the end of November or so. A few projects, they'll continue to do some surface work. But of course, please watch all the signs, slow down. Don't try to go through areas that are closed. Every year we have people that ignore the road closed signs, drive around barriers, putting themselves and the workers at risk. Please don't do that. That's a safety issue. The roads are closed for a reason. If we didn't have to close the roads, we wouldn't. But they're closed for good reason. Please respect those barricades and those signs, and don't go around them, and don't put yourself or our workers at risk. We want everybody to go home safely.
That's absolutely right. That is the biggest priority above everything else. And of course, also when it comes to colder temperatures, that means severe winter weather is always going to be in the back of our minds. It can always pop up at any time. What kind of coordination usually takes place between the Road Commission and local municipalities during severe winter weather, would you say?
Yeah, well, we monitor the weather very closely. If we know there's a storm coming, we will keep we'll let the communities know that we're going to be getting ready to get out there. Sometimes the storms come up with a little advance warning. Those are the more challenging ones. Or we get a storm where it's right at the breaking point of the freezing. You know, if it goes up a degree, there's no storm, and it's just rain. If it drops a degree, we have a major snowstorm. Those are the kind of the hardest ones to monitor, but we do try to share information with our partners in all the communities. Many of the cities and villages are also doing their own road maintenance, so they're monitoring things as well. But communications is a big part of it. We want to let the public know what we're doing as well, so we'll send out press releases to you, our friends in the media. We'll post information on social media. That's a great way to kind of keep track of what's going on. But it's often a very fluid, changing situation, and it can change, minute by minute sometimes.
Sounds like a pretty well-oiled machine, all things considered, and great ways to keep everybody informed. I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up, Craig. How can residents stay updated on current road conditions or report problems that they witness during winter storms?
Yeah, great question. So we've got a real-time traffic map on our website that'll indicate whether traffic is slow or going at normal speeds. There's also a lot of cameras that you can click on to see real time what the roads look like in those locations. That's a great resource. We've got all the MDOT cameras along the freeways linked on that website, so you can click, see if the freeway's running smoothly or if there's snow on the roads. That's one great source. You can follow our social media. We post updates there regularly. and then just, pay attention to what the weather forecasters are saying. We're listening to them as well. We're listening to our own forecasters, trying to stay abreast of what Mother Nature is throwing at us.
That's right. And I mean, Michigan weather can be some of the most unpredictable weather of all, as this said from somebody who's lived in the state all 26 years of my life. But it can always change with the snap of a finger. But yes, always important to stay prepared. Craig, I want to thank you so much for joining us on The Splash. One last question. What would you like the public to better understand about the work your crews do during the winter months to keep roads safe and accessible?
Yeah, that's a great question. We want people to know that we will be out there when it snows. We often hear, well, I haven't seen a snowplow, so you guys must not be out. The reality is we cover 2,700 miles of county roads and 230 miles of state highways. And when we have our maximum coverage out, we've got about 109 trucks, 19 road graders, and potentially 18 pickup trucks. So the likelihood of you seeing one of those trucks during your commute is probably statistically fairly low. That doesn't mean we're not out there. Just because you don't see our trucks doesn't mean we're not out there. We monitor the weather very closely. When it's snowing, or in the cleanup of period after a storm, we are out there. You may not see us, but we're out there working hard, and our drivers are out around the clock during those situations. And we thank people for their patience as we get things cleaned up.
Always out there and always working. And we thank you, Craig, and the Road Commission for everything you're doing to keep the roads safe. Thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.